Right, so Astrobodo now here again, preparing for another night with the Lucid mounts, and now we have returned back to our little refractor here. On courtesy of Balti here, he managed to convince me that doing the fitting the 8-inch SCT on here was a good idea for Galaxy season, which is pretty much over now anyway. But anyway, so just out of dumb luck, I think I got a good image of or decent image of the Whirlpool Galaxy. But since then, it's just any little wind, and we're not talking about wind in any technical sense. It's like a disturbance in the force, and it moves. So that was okay. This is an accurate wind meter to gauge whether or not it's too windy. Piece of cat hair on the mountain. Excellent. So that was quite ridiculous, and I just have to admit defeat and that these motors aren't cut for it, and without encoders it's just not good enough. So go back to this, and hopefully it's better and useful at least. I tried it the other night, and it was a lot better. On that setup, I had the Evo Guy guide scope on, and I removed the off-axis guider. Since I'm a moron, I baffled the spacing, the back focus between the field flattener and the sensor. So I had like comet-looking stars at the field of view, at the edge of field of view. It looked horrible. Yeah. Before, I've had like a very strange diffraction pattern around all the stars, especially the bright stars. And I'm quite convinced that's because of the back focus on that as well. So hopefully it's fixed now. I meshed everything out properly on this. Works fine on the SCT, but on this it hasn't been good. So off-axis guider is back on. Hopefully it's good. What I'm also going to do today is that I'm going to image Cygnus. The Crescent Nebula in Cygnus. I'm gonna rise up there somewhere, and I'm going to start out with the reducer in the off-axis guider here, and I'm gonna get a couple of stars in. Try to get a couple of stars that was easy to recognize and get back to. So I'm gonna get them in the frame, take a shot, and then I'm going to remove the reducer and get another shot of it with the guide scope and see, so you can see the difference in like field of view, if you see any more stars, if they're brighter, signal noise, etc. Yeah, so far I've just looked at a distant object daytime and made sure that the two cameras are both in focus, and I've done that little image with and without reducer to check the image scale to see how much my reduction is. As it is now, it's about 0.65-ish, so I'll go on that. Yeah, what else? Oh yeah, something else here. Well, horror story. Out of shock, I just didn't take any pictures of it because it looked horrible. But I had the system with the SCT on here the other night, and it was really calm. It was like the calm before the storm, and in the morning then, I mean, I was maybe just a short while before I actually went out to pick everything up. The wind had pushed the tarp that I used to have around this pad for wind shelter, and it had knocked the whole rig over with the SCT and everything on it. It was absolute horror show. So I took that big concrete block and I strapped down the legs of the mount. So I have to put the tarp up here tonight as well. So hopefully, and I'm gonna stick some board inside it. So hopefully it's gonna stay put. But anyway, that was not a very nice experience. Alright then, so the evening turned south, sideways, whichever way you don't want to be going. Yeah, it was, I think it's related to the incident with the rig being tipped over. The off-axis guider has like a 3-point clamping down for the camera end, and I think when the camera took most of the impact when the rig was pushed over, it kind of scratched the clamping down points for the screws on the off-axis guider. Yeah, it's about there. You can see some scratches from these clamps, so I guess the impact will have scored that a bit. It means that they might actually get a bit loose. But anyway, so the camera is really easily tilted slightly, and that means the images get like one side is out of focus and the other side is well, in focus. So it turned to shit. But anyway, I did this part of the exercise, which was to image, well, partly anyway, the set up the guide screen with and without the reducer. Yeah, I baffled that a bit as well, because I forgot to do the signal to noise data and all that. But here we have the image of how it looks without the reducer. Yeah, the guide camera straight in the off-axis guider through the 500mm main scope. Yeah, so 2 stars. You can see some faint things here looking like it is 2 stars. It's a snapshot, so it's not the best. There's some 2 other stars down there, maybe something here. So let's take a look on how this looks with the reducer. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, look at that. Here's our 2 stars. Yeah, those 2 very faint stars, now a lot brighter. Got 2 stars down here, and look at all these stars coming in that we weren't even close to getting. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, and down to that. I mean, yeah, sorry for the non-scientificness into this, but it's yeah, it sets it all to me. At least, yeah, well, look at that image compared to that image. Which one do you want to have in your guide screen? Yeah, I want to have that one. Reducer. Win. That's it. That's all I've got. Toodaloo. May the dark side be with you.